Morning, guys. The number one low-risk business, I think, in the entire world that would probably get you the most corporate credit out of any other entity, I think, is a nonprofit. And some people might argue and say a nonprofit technically isn't the same as a business. I put it in the category of it's a business entity, period. So I consider it basically the same category, you know what I mean? And let's go in why it's the lowest risk. It's the lowest risk because you're least likely, because you got to work with the government anyway to keep the entity going legally, you're the least likely to ever get audited by the IRS, you know, and you won't owe the IRS anything. So it's really perfect in that sense. So your corporate credit that you bring in to purchase things to make it grow, it goes a long way. And here's how it's kind of like a holding company, because a nonprofit can own a for-profit company. I don't think a lot of people know this. Well, some people do. Like if you have a church, a lot of times they'll own a place that they'll sell like clothing and things like that. I'm assuming like the Goodwill, Salvation Army, stuff like that. And a nonprofit, I'm going to give you away how a nonprofit, let me throw a disclaimer first. Disclaimer, I'm not a legal professional at all. All I do is take information from real legal professionals and explain it to you guys in a way that professionals would understand. I mean, non-professionals would understand. That's all I do. So I just wanted to get that out of the way. And technically, I do not, as of right now, I do not own a nonprofit. But the information, I've been doing a lot of research lately on nonprofits, and I believe it's not only the perfect company, but you could kind of consider it the perfect holding company as well. Well, in my opinion, it'll be the company that owns another company that could be your holding company. So the LLC you own will be owned by your nonprofit. So you go all the legal route, you get with your professionals, which I happen to have a company that I would use specifically for this setup because they've already done it 1,000 times. They are based out of California, and they're not the cheapest. They're not. But I have another alternative that may be slightly cheaper and can also get it done. But the reason why I would go with this particular company, they've done a lot of these particular nonprofits. So I would go to them, get it done where you feel good about it, that you know it's going to get done right. But here's how this works. You let them set up the nonprofit. I would give it a really generic name. Nothing, even if you got to go back and go to Greek mythology and Egyptian mythology just to get a name, but just generic. And we set this up. Now here's how you start making money right out the gate. You could do a nonprofit to teach inner city youth how to do that stuff that they already do, which is sit on social media all day. So all these kids do nowadays, sit on social media. You could teach these kids how to take social media and go out and make money to help end poverty. You're gonna do it for free. You're gonna set it up videos. And here's the beauty part about it: as you're helping these kids, you could actually have them be in the videos to help with the creation of the content. Now, why would you do this for free? Because later you're gonna set up a for-profit LLC, and this later could be your actual holding company, because it's not gonna do business with the general public, just for your referral marketing business. So as you're teaching these kids, okay, this is how you're going to create digital products, this is how you're going to do this, you're going to have to refer stuff out. What do I mean by that? You got to refer the tools, the AI tools. Everybody's using AI tools now: ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, Opus Clips, Picture AI, NVIDIA. You can refer these tools out, and the referral, the money that you're getting from the companies, is going to go to that LLC. It's not going directly to the nonprofit. The nonprofit now can put together a video course format, give it to the schools for a price, because that will be legal under the nonprofit. The nonprofit's allowed to make money. Just so much of it has to be distributed back out. And the nonprofit is allowed to take in money to pay you, the person that doesn't own it, but you are an employee and a director of the nonprofit. There's another reason why the nonprofit is kind of like the perfect holding company too. The government can never take anything owned by the nonprofit from you. I'm going to give you an example. And this is probably not the best example, but it's one that comes to mind. One of the directors in the company does something crazy. Let's just say it's me. I do something crazy. I get in a car accident. They could sue me, but they can't take any assets or transportation vehicles or anything that's directly owned by the nonprofit. They can only sue me or that company that's involved. So you can have properties, you can have vehicles, different products and services owned by the nonprofit that even if you screw up, the government can't take. So you're not getting taxed, they can't take anything. You're going to get funding from everybody. This is why I said the corporate credit is going to be massive. Your corporate credit might even be better than your business credit with a nonprofit. Business credit is like the credit you guarantee. Credit cards, lines of credit, stuff like that. Corporate credit is credit that even if they can't, it's like no recourse credit, meaning that it doesn't affect you personally. It's strictly under that entity or corporation. So because it's a nonprofit, people are going to give you lines of credit that's almost endless. Churches, literally, you could be like, you can go to churches and be like, I have a nonprofit and we want to give school kids whatever, more food. You know what I mean? So you'll get massive amount of food. AI tools. I believe just being a nonprofit and you tell people you want to promote your company, your nonprofit, I believe some of the AI tools will even be free for a certain amount of time. You know what I mean? So it's just endless stuff you're going to be able to get for being a nonprofit. Now check with your tax professionals. I'm not a tax professional, but this is just information I'm learning over the research, over probably like 5 years. Why would you want to be a part of this? Because it's about generational wealth. Even if you have a separate business that you're running, and let's say you got in some trouble and you're a bad gambler and all else defaulted, you still could get your paycheck from being an employee at the nonprofit. Say you lost your job, you lost your business, the nonprofit is always going to be there for generations. You can even have it where it passes down, where one of your relatives can be on the board in the future. Now the key is we don't own it, but we can use and be employees of it for generations. You know, so you probably would want to put your focus on giving as many donations through your nonprofit, and it actually can help out your for-profit companies. You know, and again, the tax savings, crazy. You can have somebody in these law firms help you keep everything compliant, so you never have to worry about that. It's going to be a fee. So the nonprofit does have to generate revenue, but you're going to generate revenue because you're going to put together all this free content you're going to get because you're teaching people and you're putting it on video. You can actually build out a whole course for other people that want to start a nonprofit and show them how they can make money through affiliate marketing. Remember, you got your LLC, it's for-profit making money. It could send up back money. It's got to send up a percentage because it's owned by the nonprofit. So the bulk of the money is going up to the nonprofit. You're keeping just enough in the for-profit company to operate. And this is something you might only need to pay like one employee to do all your AI stuff and put together your videos and stuff. You can even outsource this. A lot of people are doing the veteran thing. Some people are outsourcing it. If you want to keep it in the country because you feel some type of way about outsourcing it, you know, to another country, you could do that. Or you might want to save money, outsource it to another country. But you might only need one employee to operate the actual business itself. And I would do an oddball number to be the directors. So say if I want to be a part of this, I want to be number one. You want to have like 4 other people included with me, that makes 5. You want to have an odd number for purposes that when you go to decide on things, it's not a 50-50 lockdown where you can't decide because let's say you have 4 members. 2 say they want this, 2 say they want that. Somebody's got to break that tie. And you can even set up so in the event of your death, your child becomes a part of that board. This is why I think OpenAI started a nonprofit. I believe there's some type of hybrid now. I think OpenAI is one of the first hybrids that's like a portion of it is nonprofit, but it's for-profit as well. Or they might just own a for-profit division of the main non-profit. Might be a division of the for-profit. They broke it up somehow. But when they started, it was strictly non-profit. Why? The money. They got billions. And that's this thing. There's really no cap on how much a non-profit could bring in. There's no cap on a for-profit business, but the more you make, the more you're paying in taxes with a for-profit business. The non-profit's just caking. And it could send your actual check for being an employee of the nonprofit to your living trust. It could send the money directly to your living trust to pay you. And this could be like your back burner thing. One person could really run this. That's the beauty of it. And you have a place to meet. You would have like a business office or a building. Preferably you want to own it because it's going to be owned by a LLC that's owned by your nonprofit. So you might want to buy the building. You could turn that into an event space for the nonprofit as well. There's just endless amount of things you could do with a nonprofit. Now, if you want to be a part of the nonprofit I want to build, I'm only looking for 4 people. You have to get into coaching, the partnership coaching program. Now, it's not a lot of money, but it's not about necessarily the money. It's about finding the right people, really. But if you want to be even considered, you have to get in the partnership coaching program so you can refer me back business and make money. So that's one plus about it. And for every customer you send for it, I'm going to give you back $197. So it's $497. They're going to pay $97 a month if they want to continue. You're going to get, because you referred a customer, you're going to get $197 one time, $197 one time for every person you refer, and you don't have to do the work. And the first 4 people are going to be considered to be part of this nonprofit, and you don't even have to put any money in towards building a nonprofit. That's the great part about it. We're going to actually use business and corporate credit. I'll spend my own money to get the legal part going, but we're going to use business and corporate credit to get this thing off the ground and really start growing over time. But you got to contribute by getting in at least a partnership coaching program. You know, very small amount. Could be a lifetime. And I don't want to make you guys think I got all the answers. This is going to be a real legal entity set up by lawyers. I'm not going to be trying to set this up or trying to worry about, oh, this legal document's got to go in by this time. It's going to be a real law firm taking care of that. That's why it's going to take a while. I don't want you guys to think it's going to happen overnight. We're probably looking at a year to 2 years. Because I'm hearing it's like a backlog of at least 6 months just to get the thing set up. But the cool thing about the nonprofit, they backdate a lot of things. So they'll backdate it from the time you actually set it up. So if you're going along, trucking along, I think you can actually take in donations. And it's just, to me, it's the best low-risk business in the entire world. You know, because nobody is going to even be able to penetrate it if you set it up right to touch you as the individual. That's what I like about them. This is something you can have employees in your family that can't get a job, say they were in prison. You can actually legally give them a job. You know, you don't want them to handle money, but you could give them a job that feels rewarding to that person. It could just be coaching. It could be just coaching other people about the nonprofit and how we could build more. And the nonprofit could, as you're setting this up, I don't want to leave this part out, as you're setting it up, you could take video footage of all the steps. Oh, we got to fill out this form. We got to do this. That content can be sold later to teach other people how to set up a nonprofit. And I'm not a genius. This stuff, it's always been around, but nobody really thought of the nonprofit as being something that could control other companies, really. You know? And I think it's probably the safest way to control other companies, because it's kind of like, you don't have to do offshore and all that. I see people setting up like holding companies offshore in these weird countries that you're never going to visit because they're worried about the government penetrating and taking from it. the government legally can't take your nonprofit from you. Your nonprofit, once set up properly by these law firms, can exist even without you. You could die and it still be going. So in a sense, it's kind of like a living trust. You know, a non-revocable living trust, meaning it could keep going forever. You know, and it could be sending your living trust money, you know, long after you're dead for it to pay for your family. And have a legacy. You know, you and the original board members can have a legacy where you're in the pictures and you're like, we built this together. You know, now I'm not making it mandatory that the people got to live in Connecticut, but because I'm in Connecticut, we're probably going to set it up in Connecticut, which is not a bad state for nonprofits. But the actual for nonprofit, I'm hearing they can actually, I think Stripe is one of the companies where they actually set it up in a different state, but they register it in your state. I don't know if that makes sense. So I'm trying to think of the state that like they use in, it might be Wyoming. I know one of these companies like Stripe, they have a way you could set up a entity through them for your nonprofit, and it's set up in this different state. It's just registered to your state. So once it's registered in your state, it's good. You can do business as normal. It's the same thing as setting it up in your state. But that's just something I thought about that I saw recently. But most of the time, the law firm's going to set it up in your state where you live, or where the main operator lives, or the main director lives. But again, we're not owners, but we control it. We control it. Long after we're dead, we can set in things in place that could go on for our families. And I can't even think of any lower risk entity or business off the top of my head. I think it's actually perfect. And it's a perfect use case because the schools aren't teaching digital marketing. You know, why not have the first nonprofit in your state? And we could do this for multiple states. We can actually have a nonprofit that shows other states how to do nonprofits. We can set this up and say somebody else in Texas might say, we want to do something similar to what y'all doing. And our nonprofit charges them a fee. You're allowed to make money as a nonprofit. I think people think that nonprofits don't make money, you know, because the nonprofit has to pay people. You know, Red Cross, I believe, is a nonprofit. They still got to pay employees. They make millions. See, your nonprofit can make millions, but we have to be paid a reasonable salary, which means we'll never be rich from the nonprofit. You know, but there's crafty ways you could trickle down some of that money into your own for-profit companies as well, in the form of affiliate marketing products. There's nothing illegal about the nonprofit recommending something that my for-profit company is doing for a referral fee. There's nothing illegal about that. You know what I'm saying? And the government wants you to be successful. So a nonprofit that's helping people, they're going to be throwing money at you. If you put this in Hartford, Connecticut, and you told them you're going to teach digital marketing for free, they will make sure you have a packed audience every day. Now you're getting your name out there. You can become a speaker. You can start telling about some separate products that you may offer. You could tell them about your book that you did. You know, or you want to be generous, you could do a book just for the nonprofit and do another book just for your personal brand. And even a book on your personal brand, give it away. Give it away, because you're going to have other tips and tools that they need to purchase, like the partnership coaching program. Thank you guys for your time. I look forward to working with you in the future. Go to the links below. You want to sign up for the partnership coaching program, go to williamblanning.com. There should be a link somewhere, usually below, and sign up. You know, it's not going to break you. If you're in Connecticut, I will personally come to your house or business and hold your hand, and we can start building this. It's going to take time for the nonprofit, but in the meantime, we can set you up with that LLC and hopefully get you some money now where you could pay for my coaching program for free. You can write it off on your taxes. There's just so much we can do, guys. Hit me up. It's been good talking to you. Subscribe, like, comment, and I'm going to see you guys in the next one. Thank you.